May 16, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E Futures Mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. The spike up, sell off, kind of a sideways consolidation, and a small spike into a really pretty good looking channel. Sell off, another spike up. And then this is the after hours. I think check the news, and it apparently Moody's downgraded the United States rating from AAA to double A1, and I think the market did not like that. So I guess it's saying the credit worthiness of the United States is not as safe as it was before. It caused this big sell-off, and there's kind of a bounce recovery, but now the market's closed. The overall market structure looked like it was kind of trying to figure itself out. Then it went into a gradual rally, and then this really crazy spike here. I took a total of 2 trades. The first one was okay, and then the second one was not as good. The excuse me, the volume and volatility were a little low, and the only economic data that came out was at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard, which is about right here. We see this yellow squared off region. That was the preliminary consumer sentiment, and after that, market just kind of recovered. I didn't find too many setups, but there were some pretty decent setups. And the second trade I took was actually pretty bad. Then when I did a data reload, the candles actually changed. But that still doesn't change the fact that it was a bad trade to have taken. And when I get there, I'll show you the screen capture that I took of before and after. The pre-market, the market just continued from yesterday, sold off, did a bounce, moved up this yellow channel, kind of looks something like this, small little spike here. It doesn't fit the best, but that's okay because it's kind of in the pre-market, so I'm not as concerned. And plus, these candles took a while to close. You can tell this gray area from the previous day to right before the market opened at 6:30 Pacific Standard. There wasn't that many candles printed, so it's a low volume day. It hits a high, pre-market high, sells off, made 2 attempts up, then it makes a second leg down. Looks like it followed this red down channel pretty well, makes a new low. It's a first entry short, pullback, second entry short into a potential triple test, and it looks like I'm within a range. I thought this was a possible trade, and excuse me, there's a break of this orange down channel. It needs to test the low. It looks like a 2-legged pullback, so it was like also this red down channel, 2 legs up, and it looks like it's coming back down. Now this one actually, before the data reload, looked like a big red candle. I'll go ahead and just drag what I saw here. So you actually have a new low, first entry short, second entry short. This is, I thought, a better setup because it engulfed it and had a really strong closeout. So I'm going to drag this out of the way. But after the data reload, it doesn't look as good, but I marked it initially as a possible trade, and I think it's still probably a possible trade. It continues, moves back into this orange down channel, then it starts pressing out. You have a new low, first entry short, second entry short, and then potentially third entry short, but it looks like more like one big leg up. Break, test the high, makes a second attempt up, and also makes a second high. This is also in the range of news announcement coming out, the consumer sentiment. It flushes down, makes a new low, creates this new low. It's a first entry short, pullback, second entry short failure. Now, right now, it doesn't look like a second entry short, but this is what I had trading at the time. So I'm going to go back to this chart. This is actually my first setup. I saw a new low, first entry short, pullback, first entry short, second entry short, new high, first entry long, pullback. I like that this candle moved 1 tick below, I think maybe 1 or 2 tick, then reversed strongly up. So I saw it as a first entry long pullback right here, second entry long, hidden, and a new low, first entry short, second entry short, failure. So I entered at the high, quickly got the scalp, and I was got a profitable trade. But as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and reduce this. After the data reload, it doesn't quite look that way anymore. So if this was actually printing in real time and this is the chart I was working off of, I wouldn't have taken this trade because it's first entry long. You technically don't get a second entry long here, whereas my original data does look like a second entry long hidden. So move this out of the way. Then it starts consolidating sideways. It looks like it's in a range, hits a new low. So it's a 1-2 triple test, pushes up, break, test the high, fail breakout of this range, and it starts flushing down. This actually sets up my second trade. So I'm going to go back to what I saw in real time, which is here. And then this is the actual data reload, because this is, I took the screen capture right around just before 8 o'clock, but it still doesn't it still doesn't negate the fact that this is a poor trade. But I'm going to go ahead and kind of talk through my thinking process. Good learning experience for me. It comes from a fail breakout, top of the range. So that's kind of what you have after data reload, which is fine. It pushes down. In real time, I'm seeing a bounce off the bottom of this trading range. And it's coming back up. It has a really good signal bar close, which is this candle here. But in hindsight, after I took this trade, so I try to get a little bit of better entry. This isn't a second entry, it's a first entry. Technically, it's a first entry. I saw a multiple test. I'm thinking prices are going to move back up to the high of this range, but I neglected to take into account that this is a fail breakout, and it could create a symmetrical fail breakout here. So this is what you're seeing in real time. It creates this big candle, and I said, I want to reduce my risk. So I enter. I have my order pretty much at the highs here. It opens, flushes down, hits my order, then continues and hits my stop, which is right outside the range. So that was a poor trade. Now, if you look at it in real time, after the data reload, same thing as the fail breakout, pushes down. You do have the multiple tests here, and it creates like a first entry long, but this is an inside bar, whereas initially I didn't have an inside bar. I had this big candle. Now, if I were to try to trade this, I should have taken into consideration there's a fail breakout here. It could create one here. What I should have done is not enter one tick above this guy or just at the lows here. I should have put my entry one tick above this green buy. If I put it one tick above this green guy, then I would not have gotten into this trade and I would have saved myself from a loss. Of course, if this is what I saw in real time, this is after the data reload, this just doesn't look like any good trade because this is the inside bar, first break of this green down channel. And even here, if I was looking at this, when I was trading this and it looked like this initially, it's a first break of the green down channel. I should have thought about this green channel wants to test this low. So there's all kinds of things going against this setup, if you can even call it a setup, that I took anyways. So this is a bad idea. So I was green here, red here. After I saw this, and I did the data reload and looked completely different, I said, okay, well, it's a low volume day. I shouldn't try to tempt fate now. I already got one win, one loss. Just leave it for the day. It looks like a slow, choppy day. Don't even like tempt it. So after this first loss, after the first win, I didn't take any more trades. So prices continue moving down. It looks like it's going down this orange down channel. It's a breakout this side, pushes up on this green up channel. Break, one attempt up, two attempt up, and it looks like it's kind of moving sideways with a sideways consolidation. This didn't really have a good trading range to draw, but it did have support area. But even though this is a support area, it's making higher highs, then it kind of creates a lower high than these guys. There's a new high, it's a first entry long pullback, second entry long. I was debating whether this is actual trade or not. Ultimately, I felt like it wasn't a safe trade because it's below the EMA. If this had closed at least above it, then it might have been worth considering. But this yellow up channel doesn't exist yet. But then prices continue moving, creates a new high. It's a first entry long here, creates a second entry long, but it looks like a more visual first entry, pullback, second entry. And at this time, I did have this drawn as a trending, excuse me, trend line, which I later turned into a channel because I was thinking of something tighter like this, fail breakout, maybe there's a fail break on this side. And I thought this might have been a possible trade. To bounce off this yellow channel support, which I'm not 100% sure about yet. It is a below the EMA, but it strongly pushed back up and it closed just slightly above it. It did have a good signal bar for close at the high. So you could consider that potentially it's going to move back up, especially if you consider the top of the trading trend channel here. Then you don't have a break. But then this one shows up. So it looks like a visual first entry pullback, second entry. This visual second entry I felt is a little aggressive because unlike this one, which did breach and break above the EMA, this one doesn't. It closes below. And this one is still kind of bouncing off this yellow channel support, while this one broke below. This one failed to break above this guy. So I felt it was a little sketchy, but definitely maybe it's a trade if you're more aggressive. Then prices move up. You get a higher low here, but it's too far from the setup now and far from the EMA. I'm not interested in this. Then it kind of breaks the green up channel, one attempt up, second attempt up. I thought actually this might have been a trade. So now it's fitting nicely within my yellow up channel. And I thought prices are probably going to go back for relief because the first entry, second entry, excuse me, swing low, first entry short, second entry short, potentially within a trading range, decent signal bar, rejection off this yellow up channel resistance. So it's probably enough for a scalp. But I was cautious because this is counter trend. I'm going to be shorting into a clearly bullish bias. It consolidates sideways. I mean, there's a new high here, first entry long. You could consider this maybe a second entry long, but I wasn't that. I mean, actually, I should have marked it. It is a second entry long, multiple test, maybe worth a trade. So I'll go ahead and mark it. I don't think I caught it in real time. So if I didn't catch it in real time, it wasn't really there, or at least I didn't consider it. But now I see it in hindsight, and I think if I was more careful, maybe I'll catch more of these. Prices move up, breaks out of this yellow up channel. Looks like it might have been moving up this orange up channel, but there's no real clean second entries. You have a new low, first entry short, technically a second entry short failure here. It's bouncing off of this recently confirmed orange up channel, but it's only the support that's been confirmed. The top side resistance hasn't been confirmed. So it's more of an iffy trade. Pushes up, has a breakout here, then it comes down. Looks like it's 2 legs down, but it's like a first entry long pullback, maybe a second entry long here, but this is a bad signal bar. You can say that it's bouncing off this yellow up channel, but I just didn't really like it. Definitely a localized swing low, first entry short pullback, second entry short failure, bounce off, it's coming off the bounce off this yellow up channel support and bouncing off the EMA. So I thought this might actually have been a trade right here, enough for a quick 1-point scalp. This green up channel I drew much later. After it kind of looked like it was moving up here, I thought there might be some kind of channel within this yellow channel. Pushes down, pushes back up, test the highs. You technically get a first entry long. You don't really get a second entry long till about here, but now it's below the EMA. It looks like it's part of this leg coming down, so I just kind of left it alone. It was pretty choppy here. And now it's going into the last 30 minutes. It's a localized low. It's a first entry short pullback, second entry short. Second entry short, unfortunately, it isn't the right colored bar. And there's this really strong push up. I was playing with the idea that maybe it was something like this, so you didn't have an overshoot because there's no overshoot in the bottom. In which case, I thought there might have been some kind of resistance here running parallel. But I had something like this at the time. But because to account for this overshoot that really maybe wasn't an overshoot because it fit this bigger yellow better, and it was kind of trading along this blue previously. So I wasn't too, well, by the time I moved this yellow up, all this price actions has already evolved. And here, after the break, I was expecting a test of this yellow high. Go ahead and zoom in a little bit better. So it's a break, first entry short, second entry short, potential failure, maybe, maybe not. Then it starts moving up this purple shallow up channel. But keep in mind where the time is. This is probably about right here is about where this last 10 minutes of the day. Even if a second entry sets up, it's just too risky to try to take a trade. Because as you can see here, even in the aftermarket, they didn't have to release this news. Moody didn't have to release this news in the aftermarket. They could have just easily released it here. Now, granted, making that argument, you could just say, well, Moody's could have released it anywhere, so you can't really account for this. That's true. The only difference is this is the last 10 minutes where whether you're considering news or not, you have to consider that people, institutions may have been long from down here, and this is about right here where they might be closing out their positions. So it's plus it's a Friday, so they've got rolling over positions. So it's very more tricky, more volatile in the last 10 minutes, in the last 30 minutes for sure, and then for sure in the last 10 minutes. So I don't want to be trading anything in here, even if I do see a decent setup. But I was just looking just for chart reading practice. You do have a new high here, first entry long, technically a second entry long here. It's not a good signal bar, closed, neutral, more equal tail to body. And it's kind of not the best setup, and it kind of moves into the close. So overall, I think had I just been more, I guess, kept to my rules a little bit better, there would have been trade here, and then I would have just walked away with one trade instead of one win, one loss, because this multiple test here really wasn't a good setup at all. All that had going for it was a multiple test. Plus, if I saw something like this in real time, I wouldn't have taken it. But I was playing before I did the data reload. But even then, this fail breakout should tell me like I need to be cautious. Could be a fail breakout here. Plus, it's a green down channel, could test the low. So, lesson learned. Need to just be more strict with my rules and avoid these stupid unnecessary losses. So, hopefully that was helpful.